In the highly polished world of Korean entertainment, certain faces are engineered to project pure innocence, youth, and unblemished joy. Shin Ye-eun was the definitive poster child for that ideal. When she burst onto the scene in 2018, the internet unanimously crowned her the next nation's sweetheart. Yet, absolutely no one could have foreseen that behind that flawless, angelic smile lay a chilling psychological depth that would one day leave the entire world frozen in sheer terror. The moment she transformed into a cruel, unrepentant bully in the global phenomenon The Glory, fans were left hyper-fixated on one haunting question. How does a pristine youth icon transition into the most universally despised villain in modern K-drama history? This isn't just a tale of standard acting range. It's a story defined by heavy industry gatekeeping, silent tears shed in production rooms over plummeting ratings, and a crushing sense of guilt that almost forced her to vanish from the industry entirely. But to truly understand the catalyst that pushed Yeon into this psychological abyss, we first have to uncover a disturbing pattern that began unfolding during her absolute lowest point, a period where she felt completely abandoned by the very industry that created her. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, like the video, and share it. Thank you. In this exhaustive, documentary-style deep dive, we rip away the glittering veneer of the K-drama apparatus to witness the extreme psychological thresholds an actress must cross to survive. We will dissect the ruthless, behind-the-scenes metrics of broadcast ratings, the devastating emotional weight of cyberbullying, and the chronic anxiety Ye-eun buried beneath her sunny public persona. Was she truly the resilient prodigy the industry claimed she was? Or was she merely wearing a suffocating mask to avoid being chewed up and spit out by the system? The chilling answer doesn't lie in her recent success. It is deeply rooted in a past she carefully guards, stretching back to a childhood shaped by an overwhelming, silent terror of invisibility. Born on the 18th of January, 1998, in the scenic coastal city of Sokcho, Shin Ye-eun was not an accidental celebrity. Unlike peers who stumbled into the industry by chance, Ye-eun's trajectory was fueled by an intense, almost desperate drive to perform. This burning ambition eventually led her to the ultra-competitive halls of Sungkyunkwan University's acting department, an institution known for breaking even the most resilient spirits. To her classmates, Ye-eun was a beacon of high energy and relentless positivity. Yet, insider accounts and reflections from her early years suggest this external vibrancy was a survival mechanism designed to mask a profound, chronic fear of inadequacy. The social and academic hierarchy within South Korea's elite art academies is notoriously brutal. In an environment where hundreds of exceptionally talented individuals fight for the attention of a single visiting casting director, Ye-eun internalized a toxic belief: any sign of weakness, or any moment she wasn't completely radiant, would result in immediate, permanent erasure. She conditioned her mind to associate perfection with survival, effectively crafting an impenetrable mask of joy. She carried this internal pressure like a hidden ticking time bomb through her teenage years. But she had no idea that this exact trauma, this crippling fear of not being good enough, would be drastically weaponized against her the moment she stepped into the high-stakes arena of professional television networks. The illusion of her smooth ascent was about to shatter during her very first major network audition, leading to a psychological gauntlet that few rookie actresses ever survive. When the web drama 18 premiered in the summer of 2018, it triggered an unprecedented cultural shift among South Korean youth. Shin Ye-eun's character, Do-hana, became an instant blueprint for cool, effortless youth culture. Teenagers across East Asia began cutting their hair into her signature sharp bob and clearing out makeup aisles to find the exact lip tints she wore on screen. Virtually overnight, Ye-eun had achieved a level of commercial dominance that typically takes actors a decade to secure. Mainstream TV networks immediately swooped in, eager to cash in on the Shin Ye-eun syndrome. However, the transition from the low-stakes, highly receptive world of digital web dramas to the merciless battlefield of primetime public broadcasting proved to be a psychological nightmare. Cast as the female lead in fantasy thriller, he is psychometric in the romance. Welcome, also known as Meow, the secret boy. Ye-eun suddenly found herself carrying the financial and reputational weight of multi-million-dollar productions. The results were catastrophic. Welcome plummeted to an unprecedented 0.8% viewership rating, setting a historic low for a major broadcast network lead drama at the time. The South Korean media and hypercritical netizen forums, showing zero mercy, instantly single-handedly blamed Ye-eun, labeling her acting as rigid and attributing the failure entirely to her lack of star power. The industry's collective cold shoulder subjected her to intense psychological warfare. Behind closed doors, projects she had tentatively been offered were quietly rescinded, and industry insiders openly murmured that she was nothing more than a transient social media bubble. The toll this took on her mental health became painfully public during an appearance on a reality show, where she broke down in uncontrolled tears, stating through heavy sobs that she felt entirely responsible for ruining the hard work of the production crew. This heartbreaking public unraveling was her first major psychological breaking point, as she began retreating into absolute isolation to escape the constant industry rejection. The predatory apparatus of the entertainment press saw an opening, dragging her name into a complex media labyrinth that threatened to permanently alter her public identity. During this phase of profound career vulnerability, the media shifted its focus from her low ratings to her private life, searching for anything scandalous to feed the public's morbid curiosity. In the hyper-conservative ecosystem of Korean entertainment, an actress struggling with her career is easy prey for manufactured narratives. Allegedly, during her tenure as a host on a highly popular weekly music broadcast, rumors began circulating within the industry that Ye-eun was quietly dating a high-profile K-pop idol behind the scenes. Internet sleuths rapidly weaponized social media, analyzing split-second frame changes in her broadcasts, matching jewelry, and compiling highly speculative evidence to prove the relationship. Allegedly, Ye-eun's management agency was trapped in a highly delicate corporate dilemma. Confirming a relationship would invite the untamed wrath of a massive, fiercely protective idol fandom, while issuing a standard denial could backfire catastrophically if more intrusive paparazzi photos emerged. They opted for an ironclad policy of absolute silence. But in the digital age, silence is often interpreted as a confession. The media labyrinth tightened its grip around her, and every time she appeared on a red carpet or in a variety show segment, journalists dissected her facial expressions for signs of romantic distraction or emotional distress. Rather than engaging with the toxic cycle, Ye-eun made the conscious decision to completely sever her social ties, plunging herself into deep isolation. Yet, this self-imposed solitude only served as a breeding ground for an even more dangerous internal crisis, one that she hid behind an increasingly frantic, energetic public mask. To the casual observer, Shin Ye-eun seemed entirely unfazed by the media storm. In fact, during this tumultuous period, she became a viral sensation across variety television, famously performing eccentric, completely uninhibited dances and exhibiting an explosive, bright sense of humor. Audiences lauded her for being down-to-earth and inherently hilarious. However, psychological experts and industry veteran analysts view this hyper-energetic persona through a far more tragic lens. This extreme, slapstick comedy was the ultimate defense mechanism, a frantic effort to project absolute utility to an industry that was actively trying to discard her. Behind the scenes, crew members noted that the chronic anxiety plaguing Ye-eun was reaching a boiling point. Between filming takes, she would compulsively dig her fingernails into her palms to ground herself, frequently relying on intensive breathing exercises just to stave off full-blown panic attacks before the cameras rolled. She was utterly terrified of public perception, desperately operating under the belief that if she stopped smiling for even a single second, the public would interpret it as arrogance or defeat. She had spent years perfecting this exhausting duality, desperately fighting to remain the girl everyone loved, even as the effort was eroding her mental stability. It was precisely at this point of total emotional exhaustion that an incredibly risky, highly controversial script landed on her desk, a script that demanded she unmask her internal darkness, setting the stage for a dramatic career gamble that would either completely destroy her remaining reputation or fundamentally re-engineer global television. That project was Netflix's critically acclaimed, dark revenge thriller The Glory. But the role offered to Shin Ye-eun was not the heroic victim, it was the young Park Yeon-jin, a wealthy, sadistic monster who inflicts horrific, stomach-churning physical and psychological torture on a defenseless classmate. For an actress whose entire brand was built on wholesome, sweet, and approachable charm, stepping into the shoes of a psychopath was an act of career suicide on paper. The public was completely unprepared for what was coming. The psychological reality of filming those harrowing scenes was incredibly devastating for Ye-eun. According to production insiders, the sheer level of cruelty she had to manifest on screen took an immense emotional toll. The moment the director yelled "cut" after a high-intensity abuse scene, Ye-eun would frequently burst into uncontrollable, panicked tears, rushing to her co-stars to embrace them and apologize profusely for the violence she had just simulated. She had dug deep into her own buried anxieties, anger, and feelings of industry rejection, channeling that raw, untamed darkness into a performance of pure, unadulterated malice. When the series premiered globally, the world watched in collective horror. Her performance was an absolute masterpiece of terror, earning universal acclaim. Yet, this monumental triumph came at a heavy psychological cost, leaving her to grapple with the disturbing reality that her greatest professional validation was achieved by making the entire world intensely hate her face. Today, Shin Ye-eun is no longer defined by the volatile, unpredictable metrics of domestic broadcast ratings or the superficial constraints of an internet trend. By deliberately tearing down the pristine, artificial image she spent her youth constructing, she earned her status as one of the most formidable character actresses of her generation. She faced her deepest, most crippling fear of failure by walking straight into the dark, using her hidden scars to create a global artistic triumph. Shin Ye-eun's harrowing journey serves as a powerful, unsettling reminder of the true human cost embedded within the global entertainment machine. It forces us to look past the beautiful, highly curated surfaces of our favorite stars and ask an uncomfortable question. Do we truly want to see the real human being behind the character? Or do we only value them when they wear the exact mask we demand? What are your thoughts? Was Shin Ye-eun's radical transformation a calculated stroke of genius? Or was it the natural, inevitable byproduct of a brutal industry that forced her to adapt or perish? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I read every single one. If you want to see more unfiltered, documentary-style deep dives into the hidden realities of your favorite K-drama and C-drama stars, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like video icon, and turn on the notification bell. Until next time, stay observant and stay curious.